What's going on out there? I'm your host, TJ Evans, with another episode of Untitled Discussion. Joining me today is our first ever female guest, Tynice. How are you doing today, Tynice?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing pretty good, Tynice is a fellow YouTuber, so if you can, do your plug real quick.
Okay, guys, you guys can follow my channel. It's me, Tynice. I have new content coming soon. I'm a new mom, so that's what my channel is going to be surrounding new mom stuff.
Cool. Instagram, anything like that you got?
My Instagram is It's Me Tynice. My Snapchat is Miss Tynice, and that's it. That's all the social media that I have.
Cool. Today we're going to talk about the topic that is on everybody's mind right now, on every news channel, every social media site, which is the killing of Ahmaud Arbery. How do you feel about this whole situation? Because I know the narrative is that it was a racist attack because it was two white men on one young black man that was only jogging.
Okay, first I want to say that we both agree that they were in the wrong. We both agree about that.
Totally.
However, I feel like it was racially motivated. If it hadn't been a white man or anybody else of another nationality, well, not really though, because if he had been Mexican, probably the same thing would have happened to him. And because he was a black man, they automatically stereotyped him because he was running and he probably had his shirt off. And as soon as white people see black people running or any type of, when they see black people, they automatically get defensive. Like, they're scared of us, that they really are. And to see a black man running, automatically assume that he was doing something wrong.
Yeah, and honestly, it was kind of hard for me because anytime I hear the word racism, I'm usually taken back a little bit because that word is being thrown around a lot nowadays. So I had to do a little due diligence and just look at the background on what happened. I know in the neighborhood they said that an 84-year-old woman's house was burglared, and also they said that Ahmaud, or an individual that looked like Ahmaud, was going through construction sites and looking into the houses and stuff like that. And the two men, Gregory and Travis McMichael, I think is their names, they decided to take the law into their own hands and try to do a citizen's arrest. But the thing is about a citizen's arrest in Georgia, you actually have to view the crime that happened. So what they did was vigilanteism, which is illegal across the whole nation. But I feel like if it was a white suspect, I think they would have did the same thing. I really do.
No, you're absolutely wrong about that. You know that if they had seen a white boy running, because the thing is that black people we don't jog and we don't do these type of activities. We don't play tennis. We don't jog. We don't go golfing. Like, that's the narrative about black people. So if they had seen a white boy jogging, they wouldn't have thought twice about it. But because they seen a black man and they running, not even jogging, they're going to say he was running. That makes him look suspect. Like, no, that's not right.
But another video surfaced, not the killing video, because I can never bring myself to watch those. But another video surfaced where you see a black man inside of a security of a construction site, inside a house that's being built. And the only reason why I said that they would have attacked him if he was a white man is because if there was an actual white suspect, if the suspect was a white man and a white man was running down the street, he would have fit that description of that suspect. And I don't see anything in their past to show that they're racist or it was racially motivated. That's the only thing that's kind of throwing me off.
I would just say the history of South Georgia in itself would make me believe that I wouldn't say, oh, they're racist, but they would be on the fence when it comes to a black person because of the history of South Georgia.
Yeah.
However, even if he was in there stealing something from this construction site, because the homeowner had said that he had things stolen from the home, but he never did a police report. Yeah. He just chalked it up as a loss. Even if he had been in there stealing, that's still not giving him a right to shoot him.
No.
They didn't even have the right to detain him until the police got there.
Not at all.
Because they don't have that right. They are not post-certified officers. They do not have the right to detain anyone, because they would have held him at gunpoint until the police got there. then that would have been a crime in itself.
Yeah.
They didn't have any right to do anything that they did other than call the police and let the police handle that situation.
I think the main issue that I had with it was because it was stupidity on their part, because they had enough opportunity to go to the house and get their guns and try to detain them instead of just calling the police.
Now you see what I'm saying? They went home to get their guns,
Yeah.
to come back to the scene,
Yeah.
to call the police, and then to shoot him.
Yeah, they were stupid.
This is why people should mind their business, because they're going to jail for a long time.
They are.
They aren't going to be convicted. They're going to be convicted just because of the hype that's surrounding this case now.
Yeah.
I think they called for the prosecutor in that time to recuse himself from the case because one of the guys, I think the dad is an ex-police officer. Okay, they're gonna be convicted.
Yeah.
They might not get as much time as we would like for them to get, but they are gonna have to do some time. But this just go back to mind your business and allow the police to do their job.
Exactly. Even if you're a former cop, you're no longer that anymore. I think my other issue with this whole story is because this happened in February, but nothing was done about it until months later, like weeks later. Like, it didn't make sense for me.
And I don't think people using the coronavirus pandemic to say, oh, this is why it took so long to find out about this, because that overshadowed what was going on with the case. But it still should not have took the police that long to do their jobs, because those are essential workers. They've been at work during this pandemic. They could have did their due diligence. They could have did their jobs, but they chose not to because they were going to sweep it under the rug, obviously.
See, I can say that it is malfeasance on the police department and on the DA, because there was no reason for it to take this much time. But another thing why I can't even say it's racist even in that is because when the video came out by the third man who's involved, the neighbor.
Mm-hmm. He
brought the video because he thought that it would clear them. So that's why I was like, I don't see how it's racist if the people who's actually doing it are bringing it to the forefront.
What you seen in that video would have made you think that they would get cleared from seeing what was in that video?
No, that's what he believed, because that's what I'm saying.
I'm asking you from what you seen.
No, that like from what
what could have possibly made him think that?
Because they thought they were doing the right thing.
Because that's their mentality.
It was ignorance of the law. That's all it was.
Okay.
It was completely being ignorant of the law and not understanding that you're not doing a citizen's arrest. Like, you crossed that line because, one, you didn't see the crime, and two, you went and got your weapons instead of trying to get the police involved first. You went to go do that, and that wasn't your place. And that's why I can't say that it was racist, because the dude who was recording it, why would he even put that video out? Because that was the only thing that can actually convict them, was that video.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Why do you think that it took the police so long to arrest them?
Because the police have this unwritten law that they watch each other's back. Pretty much just brothers in arms.
Even though they were blatantly wrong.
Yes.
They were going to get away with this crime if it would have not gained so much media attention.
They wouldn't have got away with it.
They would have. If it had not gained so much media attention, they would have gotten away with it. It would have been swept under the rug, like it was for 2 months.
I think people believe that just because of the protests and the social media uproar, that's what got these men convicted.
Another thing that's making me think it's racially motivated is because a lot of on the Facebook posts, the protests that people have been doing have been getting threats.
I mean, yeah, because there are terrible people out there, but that doesn't mean that they're racist. It's like when I seen on it was one post on Facebook that I saw that the man was wearing a "Make America Great Again" hat, and he was standing next to Governor Kemp, so automatically they believe that made him racist.
Okay,
but it's like,
just because he is a Trump supporter does not make him racist. There are a lot of black people that support Trump. There are a lot of white people that support Trump that aren't racist either.
Yeah.
However, in this case, I do believe that the crime was racially motivated because they were threatened, because they seen a black man. All they had to do was call the police and mind their business. It would have been okay if they would have stayed on the scene and waited till the police got there and said, hey, this is who we seen, this is the person, and they would have identified the suspect and let the police take it into their hands. But they didn't do that. It's like, oh, the police not coming fast enough, they're not doing enough, so we finna do something about it. And he was unarmed.
Yeah.
So, and it was 3 of them, and it was 1 of him.
Yeah.
So what made them say, oh, I'm gonna shoot him? And I think it was the father who actually shot him.
Because
what made them say, oh, I'm just gonna shoot him? What did he do to make them feel that threatened where they had to shoot him?
He was getting the best of his son. He was giving the son the business.
Okay.
And that's when they tried to say that it was self-defense. But again, they were the aggressors in that situation. That's why I'm saying I can't see it as a racial attack. I can see it as complete stupidity.
And I'm not even gonna say that Ahmaud shouldn't have fought him or defended himself. He was totally in the right.
That's what you're supposed to do.
It was 3 of them and 1 of him. He maybe felt threatened.
But that's when people, especially black people, if you're a law-abiding citizen, you should carry a gun. You should buy a gun. You should be.
So you mean to tell me that I have to take a gun with me when I'm pushing my daughter in a stroller?
Yes, the world is.
I should have a gun with me when I'm pushing my daughter in a stroller.
Yes.
I should have a gun with me when I'm going for a walk in the park.
Yes.
That's not right.
It's the world that
it's
we live
like
in.
I have to be on guard. I have to be on defense because
yes,
I have to be thinking, oh, somebody might try to do anything to me or try to assault me or try to. It might be white people who assume the worst of me because of my skin tone. So I have to have this gun to be able to defend myself in any instance.
Yes.
That's not right.
It's not right that I had to put locks on the door, but guess what? I had to put locks on the door. And
but what I'm saying is that...
And it's not just white people. That's what I'm saying. It's not just white people. You have more of a chance of getting killed by somebody that looks just like you.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Before a white man does. Even in this attack, even in this situation, there are more black on white crimes than there is white on black crimes.
True.
And those are not seen as hate crimes. Just because I'm of a different color than you does not mean that it's clearly it's like a racial attack. It's not. It's just like maybe you did something that I didn't like and we have issues now.
Okay, so let me say this about myself, how I feel. I feel like white people are threatened by us. They are scared of us. And even myself, when I'm around white people, I watch my tone because I have a naturally loud voice. I watch my tone. I watch the things that I say and the things that I do around white people because I know that they'll take it out of context, and I know that I don't want to be stereotyped by white people because they are scared of black people because they automatically feel we're aggressive, we're a threat to them, and that could put my life in danger at any moment.
But then that's
because if I'm black and I call the police on a white person, they're automatically going to take that white person's side. I mean, anytime I have seen a black person, anytime a black person in an altercation with a white person, I feel like you need to be having your phone out and recording because you're going to need something to back you up because they will automatically make you wrong. And they automatically made Ahmaud wrong and he had not done anything.
I mean, and again, you're right about everything that you just said, but the thing is you can't control what other people think and how they see you. Only thing that you can do is live your life the best way possible. Like, that's why I'm saying, get a gun. Yes, you should have a gun. It doesn't even matter that it doesn't feel right to have it. Like, I shouldn't live in a world where I have to carry a gun everywhere I go, but that's the world that we live in. We just have to deal with the cards that we got to play the cards in our hand. Like, that's it. And black people especially, because we deal with situations that I'm not going to say. No, I don't want to say that. I'm going to reword that. Black people have to deal with crime more than white people. Mm-hmm. Black people have to protect themselves because a lot of black people stay in the inner cities. And in urban areas, there's more crime. You have to protect yourself. And the funny thing about, like, just not wanting to carry a gun, like, even repealing gun laws, is a thing that they was trying to do just so black people wouldn't have guns.
But think about this. If you see a black man carrying a gun, if a white person see a black man carrying a gun like how you had your gun on your hip,
yeah.
If a white person sees you carrying a gun like that, how do you think they're gonna feel?
They're probably gonna be nervous, but it doesn't matter because I carry my gun around white people all the time. I openly carry it, and I have my license to do that. But just because they get nervous, it doesn't mean as soon as they get nervous, I actually got to pull my gun out or pull it
No,
up.
no.
Or that doesn't mean I have to hide my gun just because they're getting nervous. That
I
has nothing to
would
do
not
with me.
want to carry a gun around white people because I think they will automatically assume the worst, and I think that they will like. I feel like a white person would call the police on me if they see me with a gun on my hip.
That's cool.
Like, but I shouldn't have to go through that. That's too much because if I see a white person carrying a gun, I'm not gonna think twice about it. But I don't like guns. Anyways, I don't want to see nobody with the police carrying a gun at this point.
That's even in that situation. That's not even completely logical conclusion. A few years ago, around the Obama administration, when all those black men were getting killed by police, and people was upset with the police because the police wasn't practicing. The training wasn't right, and it seemed like a lot of those attacks were racially motivated. Why would I want the only people to have the guns is the people who was killing me this whole time? It's kind of scary.
It is scary, but it's
I don't
like
trust that.
still. So you mean because then you're saying like I should have a gun because I might have to shoot the police, the people that are sworn to protect and serve. I might have to shoot them to save my life because I can't trust them either.
Maybe if they're in the wrong,
if they're in the wrong
and you
this
have to
is how I
yourself,
feel. Even if a white cop had responded to the Ahmaud Arbery thing, they probably would have still made him in the wrong and probably would have still took him to jail and booked him on something that he had nothing to do with.
Exactly, but he would have been able to have his day in court if he would have had a gun. If he would have had a gun and they would have had a gun, it would just been made the best man win. That's all. Like when it boils down to it, that's what the Second Amendment is not just to go hunting or for the police to have guns. You have your Second Amendment rights because you're supposed to protect yourself, your family, and this nation from tyranny abroad and at home.
Okay.
If the police turn into tyrants, you have your rights to protect your family against those tyrants.
Okay, just say like we had to call the police right now and a white police officer responded. I wouldn't feel comfortable with that. I would want a black police officer to respond, or a black person to be with him.
Okay.
Because I feel like they're automatically going to make me wrong, and I need someone who can identify with me to be there to facilitate the situation.
And that's when it boils down to how you raise your kids as well. Because in the black community, we have an issue with the police. We got songs called "F the Police," and nobody feels like they can trust the police.
Because the police haven't been proven trustworthy.
Especially, and
there are a lot of corrupt cops.
Yes, and they get upset if a white police officer shows up and all this stuff. But the thing is, teach your kids to become cops one day. If you want your neighborhood's policed by your own kind, the only way that can happen is if you actually become a police officer. That's where it boils down to. I don't feel that it would be a wise thing for only the police to have guns, especially in a world where we know that there are corrupt cops. People do bad things. No matter what you wear, there are bad people going to be everywhere. Black, white, Hispanic, Asian. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you feel is going to be the outcome of this situation?
They're going to prison for a long time. As soon as trial begins, because they didn't receive a bond.
Do you think they're gonna take a plea, or they're gonna be offered a plea?
They're gonna be offered a plea, and that's probably be the best bet is to plea out this whole situation, because most court cases are handled in plea deals anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think
they don't like to go to trial.
Like 80-something% of them are dealt out of court. So yeah, they're probably gonna plea out. If the DA probably say something like murder 2, they'll plea out to about 15 to 25 years.
Well, that's still not fair. I mean, it's still not fair.
No, because nothing's going to change because he lost his life.
Yeah, and it's still not fair. And I feel like that's not going to... The family can never get Ahmaud back.
Never.
So, however long they do in jail, it's still not going to pacify that for the family. However, it would make them feel better if they got the maximum penalty for what they did. Because I'm the type of person, a life for a life.
Yeah, so that would be like what? Either life in prison or the death penalty?
I mean, not as far as the death penalty, but I feel like life in prison, I'm not a death penalty person. But
I have no problem with it. That's for another day.
I would think that you wouldn't. But yeah, like I'm not really big on death penalty. But I do feel like for the remainder of their lives, especially the dad who actually shot him, he should spend the rest of his days in jail.
Yeah, because there was, again, ignorance of the law is no excuse for what they did.
But
they were completely in the
overall,
wrong.
this needs to be a example for people to mind your business.
Yeah.
Do not be a vigilante.
Nope.
Do not take the law into your own hands.
Shouldn't.
Do not do this. And if it was racially motivated, which I believe it was, I think a lot of people need to do a lot of soul searching and realize that we're in 2020. You got to come up out of that. I don't care if it's South Georgia. I don't care what the history of Georgia is or the South in itself. We got to move forward. We got to progress at some point. And I feel like it's the older generation that's more racist than the younger generation.
You'd be surprised. But
it's taught. Racism is taught.
Yeah, you're taught hatred.
Yeah.
But I cannot say that it was racially motivated. I can say like I've been saying, it was completely stupid. And I get upset because I'm hearing the word racist too much. So it's really starting to lose its meaning.
But anytime that a white person does something to a black person, automatically say, "Oh, they racist."
Exactly. So
anytime.
So it can't be that way. It doesn't make sense because as soon as you say everything is racist, then nothing's racist.
Yeah, it takes away from the word.
Yeah, it pretty much lost its power. I know it lost its power with me like a while ago because I just got tired of hearing everybody being racist. Everybody has some form of prejudice in them.
True. I feel like sometimes I'm prejudiced against my own kind.
I mean,
you've been black people.
Exactly. So like people have this mind frame. It's not just white people that feel that black people are scary looking or something like that. Black people feel the same way about certain black people too. Like if I see 3 black men in a hoodie walking down the street and I ain't got nothing on me, I'm crossing the street. I don't even have nothing to do on this sidewalk anymore. This is not my business.
Yeah.
But it can't just be racist just because a white man did it to a black man, because and especially how it's sounding on social media. I had to get off social media for like a day because it was just getting thrown around too much.
But if it is what it is, then that's that. Call a thing a thing. If it was racially motivated and they're racist, then that should be what it is. That's the narrative. Like they're racist.
How do you prove that they're racist? Like that's the thing. How would you be able to prove that they're racist?
I think the circumstances of the situation looks very suspect and it leads to racial profiling.
Oh, the optics looks terrible because it was 3 white boys in a pickup truck, like 2-3 white boys in a pickup truck.
That's like textbook racism.
Yeah,
this is what racism looks like.
Yeah, your mind goes to that. But what if you calling it racist, you're just showing that your own prejudice by doing that and you're jumping to conclusion. Because let's say if they tried to get them on a hate crime and it falls through. That's a win for them doing that. Like
I mean, they would have to have supporting evidence to support charging them with a hate crime. But if they can't find that evidence to support that, then they should be charged with a hate crime.
They should. If they find that they're actual racist, I would be the first one to say, "Dog, I was wrong. Those white boys are racist."
And another thing, you cannot look at someone and say, "Oh, they're racist." Like racism does not have a look. A racist person does not have a certain look. But in this case, it seems very suspect and it does seem racially motivated.
It seems that way, but doesn't mean that it is.
But this is the thing. It was not their house. It was not their property. It had nothing to do with them.
No.
They were just in the neighborhood. This is what's been going on in our neighborhood. And then we see this black person in our neighborhood jogging, and he was looking around, even if he was looking around these under construction homes.
Yeah.
Who is to say he wasn't trying to buy one?
Exactly.
Who isn't to say he was just trying to look in there for himself? Like,
I can't say that.
They got nice cabinets in there. I might want to put one of those in my house, or I might be interested in buying this property. Who is to say he wasn't?
I mean,
but that's what they did. That's how they took it.
They were stupid for what they did, and honestly, I hope they get the maximum time that they can, and I want all black people really to go get your guns. Like, I see a lot of people talking about arming themselves and all that, which is a good thing. And I hope that it continues, but I hope they don't do it out of fear or hatred. I want them to be knowledgeable about the things that they're doing, and I want them to understand that.
But no. A gun should not be in everyone's hand. I know I'm one person. I would like a gun. I feel like I need a gun, but I necessarily don't probably need to have a gun because I'm very emotional and I'm impulsive.
I mean,
so someone like me does not need a gun because it'll be terrible.
No, but I don't. But I still feel that every law-abiding citizen should at least have one.
Everybody does not have the mental capacity to own a gun.
That is not for me to say.
They don't. They don't have the mental capacity to own a gun.
I'm not the judge of that. But as your constitutional right, you have the right to bear arms. And I want people to understand that the police being the only ones with the guns, it doesn't make sense because we were just upset with them for killing so many black boys. And that's why I tell people to pay attention to the policies and politics. Like, who are you voting for? Because I'm not voting for Joe Biden because he's one of the individuals. He's going to have people in his cabinet trying to take your guns. And we don't need that either. Just life. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah,
I'm not even going to get into that.
You know I had to throw that in.
That's a whole other video.
But yeah, I thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
I am TJ Evans.
I'm Tynice.
This was an episode of Untitled Discussion. Peace.